What's up, y'all? Welcome to the J and K show. I'm your man, J Rob, and I got my brother right there, K. What up, K?
Yo. What's good, Playboy?
I'm good, man. Getting through the week.
Yeah.
Having fun.
Indeed.
Lots of interesting topics going on.
Yeah, it was a crazy news cycle. So, a lot of stuff. Good for us, right?
Yeah, good for us, man.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump right into it, and we're going to kick things off with, obviously, the Olympics, right? The Olympics was in Paris. The final ceremony just closed out last night on Sunday, and it's finally over. I'm kind of happy in a way,
Really?
because it kicked off a lot of my shows
that
I've been missing.
Right.
But I gotta say, I was very entertained over these Olympics. It was very, very interesting, right? But y'all just do me a favor. I got a rant, bro. There are some things that just bothered the hell out of me during these Olympics.
Get off your chest.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you. You're a good brother. You're a good brother. Let me get it off.
You were gonna do it anyway.
I was gonna do it anyway. It's all good.
Right.
So let's kick things off. The first part of the Olympics that really pissed me off was this 100-meter race, right? With Noah Lyles.
Okay.
Right?
Why did it piss you off?
First of all, I don't like cocky people. I really don't. I'm an underdog guy. I ain't really people, them boisterous people. The only cocky person I liked and the cocky athlete I loved was Muhammad Ali. We probably spoke about this already, right? Loved the guy, backed it up. Everything that he was cocky about, he backed it up. Now, Noah Lyles, but that's not even the whole part about the whole Noah situation I'm pissed off about. Noah Lyles, he won the $100-meter race, right?
Yep.
And listen, kudos to him, right? He fought really hard. And he made it happy. He was cocky. He was boisterous. And he did his thing. And he was really happy. And listen, I was happy. I was really happy, But, I'm Jamaican. He beat my brethren. And I don't even know, Kay, did he really beat my brethren?
Yes. For the love of God, yes, man.
Well, here's the thing. You and I both run track, and you taught me something I didn't know. All right? We spoke during the week, and you told me that it's the torso.
Right.
I didn't know it was the torso. You told me that all track runners do know this.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's fine. Okay? But this is the problem that I have. At the time when they put up the timing, right?
Yep.
Both of them had a 9.79.
Yep.
That was on the board. 9.79, Noah, and 9.79, my brethren. Right? Okay? So the whole world, not everybody knows it's the torso. Okay? Not all athletes. There's just common views out there.
Right.
I run track, I didn't even know that. So I know a lot of people didn't know that. So it came out to be that he won by 0.005 of a tenth. I don't know. What the hell was it? It was something like that he won by. So put that up there so we know, okay? So we can have a differential of the time frame so we know who the real one. Don't put 9.79.
Jay.
Go ahead, what? Yeah.
Well, so the 9.79. Even before we go there.
Yeah.
The torso part, right? Where you're saying, where you somewhat challenge that. It's been that way. It's always been that way. And that that's the way it is because the runner didn't complain. You didn't hear the Jamaicans complaining or filing a protest or wanting to appeal the decision or anything because they know. So nothing to see here. Now, with respect to putting more digits after the decimal point, so that Jay can feel better.
Not just Jay. The whole world.
No, it's not the whole world.
No, it is the whole. There was a lot of people online. First of all, no one could really tell. That was, as you saw.
Well, absolutely. It was a photo finish, right? And depending on what angle you saw it, at first I thought, I forget the Jamaican's name. I thought the Jamaican runner was the one who won. But then when they saw different camera angles, I was like, okay, now I get it. I think you're getting all worked up just because
my brethren got beat.
Right. More. I think less of. So what disturbs you more? As you said, your brethren got beat, or the fact that Noah won. Excuse me. Right.
Listen. I love hard workers. I don't like cocky people in general. Definitely not cocky athletes. And listen, I just don't like that it was that close. And at first, I didn't know it was about, the torso first or whatever. But I just didn't like that they didn't give that. They didn't. And I don't know. Like, they didn't put that time up there for the common viewer of the track meets at the Olympics to know of the difference of the time. What was on the board was 9.79. And one of the broadcasters themselves got in trouble because he said that the Jamaican runner had actually won the race. He got in big trouble for that. So that's another thing. A lot of these broadcasts, they have to be more careful. And, listen, no one's perfect. I get it. But that was another thing. So they led everyone. He led everyone with their own eyes. And from what he said, we thought that the Jamaican runner had actually won the race.
Jay, let me ask you. Yeah. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
They ran the race.
Yeah.
Photo finish. They got it right. Regardless of all of this other BS that you're pointing out, they got it right. That's ultimately, it was an amazing race, awesome race.
True.
Right? It was in the finals, the final heat, and they got it right. Next, move on.
Okay. That's a good point. We are going to move on. All right? We're going to move on to another reason why Noah pissed me off. Okay.
Are we staying on Noah? Okay.
Are we staying on Noah?
Got it. Okay.
Because he did a lot. Listen, and by the way, people, I ain't hating on Noah, but I do have a problem with the situation that went on with Noah as well at the Olympics. Okay? He won his 100. And to your point, that's fair. He won fair and square. That little timing thing, I would have liked them to have done a better job with that so the whole world could have known the difference. But fine, whatever. I'm going to move on. All right? So another one of his races was a 200. He really wanted to win that 200, right?
That's his main race.
That's his main race. So he felt like the hardest part was behind him.
Yep.
So he won the 100, right? By the split of the hair right there. He won it. So that's cool. He went on, and he was obviously going to compete in the 200, right? So the day comes for the 200. He comes out of the gate like a shot out of hell, jumping up and down like, I don't know, like Jack in the Box. I don't even know, jumping up and down. I don't know if he's just amping himself up. I don't know what he's doing. And he was expending all this energy. And right when I saw that, Kay, I'm like, damn, why don't he save some of that energy for the race? You know what I'm saying? All right, but go ahead, do your thing. And then the other African runner who came out, who actually, another guy came out very nice and calm and cool. Everybody else came out nice and cool, right? Bernard came out, the African running. A lot of people just came out nice and cool, right? So here we go. His main race, the 200, comes out. He really wanted to win. He had the hardest part behind him. He felt like that was it. Boom. Race comes to 200. Ain't no Noah. His race, he comes in third.
Okay.
Got the bronze. I think an African guy is the guy who actually won the gold, right? Yeah. Spat out of hell, right? Then it comes out to find out he's falling on the ground at the end of the race. The medics are coming over to him, putting him in a chair, getting him out of there. His mom runs from the stands, going down to go visit her baby, which your mom should do, right? That's what you got to do, right? Then it just comes right after the race. News comes out that he came down with COVID, that he actually had COVID. He was diagnosed, what was it, maybe that Tuesday prior to the race or something like that?
2-3 days before.
Yeah, 2-3 days before. And we saw news footage of him in the locker room, right? With a mask on, okay, a couple days prior, and I did see that. And I said to myself, kind of wonder why he's wearing the mask. And additional footage we saw, ain't nobody else. None of the athletes were wearing no mask in there. Just him, right? So it comes out that he has COVID, and it's looking like, that's an excuse maybe why he came in third. I don't know. I know you and I were talking about this, so I want to get your opinion on kind of how the events turned out. But my bigger problem there with Noah is, and I don't know this, but did everybody know, all the runners that was in that locker room, the Olympic committee, did everybody know that he had COVID before he entered the race and before he entered into the locker room with all these other people, maskless people, around someone that was diagnosed with COVID? Apparently he knew. And I don't know if the Olympic committee knew. I know his team knew. What's your whole thought situation in terms of him losing this 200 and him being diagnosed with COVID?
So I think you're getting all upset and worked up like you do for something where you don't even know. We don't know. Did they know? Did they not know? Did other runners know?
I haven't heard.
Right. But what you haven't heard
Okay.
are people complaining that, hey, he didn't inform us that he had COVID. Maybe I wouldn't have ran the race. Maybe they should have disqualified. You didn't hear any of that, which could lead to maybe they knew. Maybe no one had an issue with it. And so from that standpoint, I don't know. I don't have an issue with it. When he was indoors, to your point, in the locker room, he had a mask on. When he's outside, I'm not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And he's not around these folks for a prolonged period of time.
Well, he hugged the winner.
Well, hugging the winner is not for what they considered a prolonged period of time.
I don't
like
give
you
the rats,
you can't
it
go
doesn't
with
matter.
your irrational way of thinking when it conflicts with what the CDC is like. Look, come on, Jay, like stop, man. He ran the Olympics.
Okay.
He ran the Olympics. The heat was somewhere in and around 20 seconds. Ain't nobody getting COVID, passing COVID to somebody for over some damn 20 seconds.
So if you was in that race and you knew, let's say you knew he had COVID, you would have hugged him?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Obviously.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't hug him.
Like, exactly.
I wouldn't hug him. I mean, like, listen, am I going to sit there and hug him and then stay there closer proximity, have this long, drawn-out conversation? Listen, there's nothing medically that suggests that that's how you get COVID, with just a quick hug.
What do you mean there's nothing medically? Everybody knows you're not supposed to be anywhere, whether you're inside or outside.
No.
Would you have sex with a woman you knew who had HIV?
No. Oh, my God.
Knowing? I'm just saying.
No,
okay.
Of course not.
Okay.
But that's not what we're talking about. At least that's not what the rest of the world's talking about.
Right, okay.
I'll say this, man. So going back to that, the only thing I had an issue with, sure as hell ain't what you're talking about.
Okay.
But in and around the COVID piece of it is that it became a story, and it felt a little bit like an excuse. If you go out and you run, you lose. You can't then start waving the COVID flag, the asthma flag. Now, it could all be legit and so on. And if it is, I hope that you're on the mend and he's feeling better about it. But that kind of just felt like the one thing about it. It's like, like he's jumping out the window after he lost. And it could have all been legit, and I certainly hope it is. But that's where it kind of felt like, that you did wonder if he won, would there have been that kind of reaction to it? Now, the other thing that you mentioned about the jumping up and down and all that other stuff.
That's not too smart.
Listen, if you've been watching him for all of these years, even going back to when he was, this guy was a phenom, coming out of even high school, that's a part of his pre-run ritual.
Not when you have COVID. He doesn't always have COVID.
Well, listen.
He knew he had COVID.
As an athlete,
yes,
you're going to make sure that you continue to do the same things. You don't break your routine.
You think that was smart?
I do think it's smart.
You think that was smart for him jumping up and down before the race,
yes,
knowing he has COVID?
Yes.
And it wouldn't be smarter to save all of your energy, your COVID self, you're afflicted with COVID.
Right.
It didn't make sense to you to save all your energy for the race?
No.
Okay.
You are a supremely engineered athlete.
Not when you have COVID.
Athlete. That little bit of jumping up and down, your pre-run ritual either did not make him lose and did not prevent him from losing.
It didn't help.
Listen, it didn't help or hinder.
Oh, it definitely hindered.
It did not. I disagree. I don't think it hindered. I don't think if he doesn't come out and go through his pre-run ritual, what do you think he's coming in second? You think that African ran like his shoes were on fire. No one was catching him, bro.
Oh yeah, well.
No one. He would have outran a Ferrari. That like he needed that. Like it was something else. My man ran like there was some other incentive other than a gold medal, right?
He did.
I so want to say some politically incorrect shit.
Say it.
But it's just funny, right? Like, yo. So I don't care what Noah did. Noah wasn't beating that boy, whether he was jumping down.
So if he didn't have COVID, he would have lost anyway.
I'll say this: if he didn't, it's possible that he wouldn't have. And the reason why I say that is because Noah has run, just based off of the time, had run faster times than this gentleman had ran. But what does that mean? Your PR is, that personal record, your personal best doesn't mean that that's what you hit all the time. So I don't have any issue with it, man. You have COVID, you had the mask on, you've been practicing, training for this all your life. If I'm another athlete, and I suspect that the other runners in that heat understand the importance of that, understand all the hard work that went into that moment, they're probably listen, no, absolutely. If you can run, you run. No one on this line is going to say, no, you can't run because you tested positive for COVID.
I don't have no problem with him. Listen, you can run.
Right.
And we got to find this out. I just want to make sure that everybody in that locker room knew for a fact that he had COVID.
What if they didn't? So what's the point you're trying to make? What's the point? What does that have to do with
So you wouldn't want it.
What does that have to do? What does that have to do with the race?
I'm not talking about the race right now.
I thought you were talking about the Olympics and recapping the Olympics.
I'm just talking about all of us. Our health comes first, and everybody just needs to know. Okay,
and maybe how do you know they didn't?
I don't know, but we don't know that they did.
But so you're worked up on something where we don't know did or didn't?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that, listen, you're a smart man, I'm a smart man. I'm pretty sure so let me ask you something. If you were in that locker room, you were one of the athletes, and you were given the information that he had COVID, you wouldn't have been wearing a mask around in that locker room with him, knowing that he had COVID? Because, listen, when I had COVID, when you had COVID or whatever like that, you wouldn't come nowhere around me, even with the mask on. So wouldn't you, let's just put our brains out there. We're smart men, and we know, I'm sure all those athletes in there are smart too. You don't think if they knew he had COVID that they probably would put a mask on in the locker room?
Possible.
Possible. It's probably likely. Let's say likely.
Well, I look at it this way. According to the CDC, right? How long? 15 minutes within X amount of feet is how you catch that from someone. Just walking past someone. Come on, man. I don't think so. I think when you are a supreme athlete, you are so locked in to what it is that you're trying to do, to what it is that you need to do. You're thinking about the task at hand. Anybody giving two damns what Noah and his mask or anything?
No, you don't give a damn. Don't say nobody doesn't give a damn.
I don't think they give a damn, because I don't think you didn't hear anything about it. Nothing bubbled up. In this time and space that we live in now, I think you would have heard someone complain, be a runner, maybe someone on the runner's team, the runner's coach. They've got post-game interviews, post-event interviews. Zero. No one said a word. No one gives a shit about Noah and his COVID and his mask, non-mask, except Jay from the J and K show, man. Nothing to see here. Move on.
Okay, I'm going to move on right now because I'm tired of talking about Noah, because I got more to complain about.
Okay.
Sorry, we're going a little extra at this. I got to complain about this whole Simone Biles situation, right?
More Simone Biles?
Simone Biles and Jordan Childs, right?
Okay.
Both of them, they actually were on the podium. Simone Biles got a silver. Jordan Childs, got the bronze. We'll talk about this a little bit later. And there was a Brazilian girl by the name of Rebecca Andrade or something like that. She won the gold, right? And Simone Biles, who won plenty of gold and silver medals, plenty of medals, right?
Yep.
Jordan Childs, she got her a bronze on that. Both of these, 3 black women up there on the podium, right? It was a beautiful scene. It's the first time in history that it happened in the gymnastics, right? There's 3 black women was up on the stage at the same time winning the medals, right? So now Simone, the most decorated gold medal winning gymnast in all of history, all her goals, her and Jordan decided to bow down, right, to Rebecca from Brazil. Bowing down, that's all. Just showing her love, bigging her up. They're all friends. All friends. They're supportive of each other, whether on the same team or not, right? Social media, up in roars. Hands up in roars. Why are they bowing down to her? Blah, 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 stuff like that. And I'm like, what is the big deal that you have 2 young black women giving props to another black woman and showing her some love? So my question to you, Kay, is why do you think that some people have such a problem with 2 black women showing another black woman some love and shown her respect, right? Why do you think people are up in such a roar?
Because there's a time and a place for everything, and that was not the time nor the place for that. It wasn't. Listen, the Olympics the Olympics have a long history, right, of understanding that we do not use that forum to illustrate any other points or make any other statements. Go there, stand on the podium, accept your medal, accept your award. That's it. So whether it's, back in the '68 Olympics where it was holding up a black fist or putting on the black berets, and there was a lot of blowback from that standpoint. I think one of the things that we need to remember is our relationship, meaning black folks in the U.S., we have a relationship with this country that is different than other places. And so we essentially see things through that lens. That is not the experience for the world. That is an international platform, and we should not have used that. We should not have used it for that instance. They very much could have pointed that out, give whatever praise they wanted to. When the event was over, the cameras are there. They've got the microphones, and you can talk about and bestow your praise on this gold medal winner. I'm all for it. I didn't think it was a need for that. It didn't have to do with it. You could have done that immediately off of the podium. You do that. There's a custom and a process, or whatever it is. It's kind of like, come on. Like,
there's a difference between a need and a problem. I said, is there a problem with it?
Yeah, there is a problem. Listen, it's like me proposing to my woman at your wedding reception, right? Okay. Like, that's not what we're here for. And I'm not upstaging that.
They were all winners.
Don't be bigger than that moment. Well, you know what? Then stand there.
How were they being bigger? They had the silver and the bronze. She had the gold.
They're hijacking that moment. So think of it this way. Just imagine, right? As the gold medal winner, this is your moment, your opportunity. You're standing there, and now you've got. You say friends. You've got the silver and gold doing the "I'm not worthy" bow and everything. So now we're talking about them, as opposed to this major accomplishment that you've created and done in your life for you, for your country. Like, it's like, ladies, can you just knock it off for a moment? And so to me, they took that moment away from her. You don't know how that person may have wanted to spin that other than the way where it is typically done. Receive your reward, acknowledge this in front of a world audience, a world stage, with your country's national anthem playing, right? That part to me is what it should be about, and not all the other shenanigans and all this other stuff. Like, even if Simone thought it was a way to show some reverence and acknowledge, I'm saying what I started with, which is time and place. That just wasn't that. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry she did. I'm a big Simone Biles fan. I cheer for her. All of those things, man. But in that moment, that was not one of her best moments, man. I'm disappointed.
That wasn't one of her best moments?
No, I didn't think so. Listen, she has won. She has represented this country, I think, in an amazing way. Won a number of medals, and you know what? You know what she doesn't have? She has no one hijacking her moment. With the numerous times that she stood up there, the notion that she would do that to someone else, I think it was in bad taste, man.
So do you think the Rebecca from Brazil? She don't have no problem with that. We were talking about this earlier in the week too. It's the Americans that are having a problem with that. Simone has won plenty of medals. She's number one.
America should have a problem with. She's representing America. She's representing me. Right. She's representing all of us Americans. So we can have a problem with it, and we should be able to speak up about it.
Do you think Rebecca, or you think anybody in Brazil is having a problem with any of this? Do you think they're having a problem that people from America that praise their winner?
Yes.
No. I didn't read anything like that.
Yeah. Well, you asked me,
well,
do I think? Yeah. Just the way I think that there are some folks here in America that do that have a problem with it. I think there's some folks in Brazil. That was their moment, Jay.
You have a problem with people giving you props.
I have a problem. Look, time and place. There is a time and place. I don't want to be, in that instance, if I were receiving gold, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that happening. And now I get pulled in. If Rebecca gets pulled into that, regardless of whether or not she wants it, and that I think that should be part of key. That's part of my issue with it. She didn't have to say so, and she got pulled into that. Now she is required to respond to that. Like, just imagine if she all of a sudden was demonstrative and angry at the fact they did that. Then it's like, oh, she's ungrateful. They were trying to acknowledge you. Like, well, I didn't ask for that, right? Like, so don't. So you know what, Americans? You know what, Simone? Don't do that. Just let her have her moment in that time, done. And then when that's done, you can do all of the other stuff that you want to and all that other nonsense or praise and like carry out on your shoulders if you want to. Who gives a shit? But during that ceremony, like some things are sacred, man. And it's just like, come on.
Listen. If Rebecca had a problem with that, then I'm all with you. I'm all for it. She's the gold winner. She said not one word. Again, they are her friends. She had no problems. I've heard no stories or anything of her having any problems whatsoever for it. So if she did, I completely agree with you and understand that. She has no problem with it. I don't know why anybody else has any problem with it. If you're happy, you're my brother. If you're happy, I'm happy for you. It doesn't matter. They're friends. They're very close friends. She never went to them and said, oh, why did you do that? No, so why are we, and it's Americans. It's not we. It ain't nobody in Brazil saying that.
Well,
ain't nobody in Brazil. It's the Americans.
Well, because, again, Jay, you are there. You were not doing this on your own. You were not, the Olympics is, it's not like playing at, it's not like playing tennis at Wimbledon versus being in the Olympics. It is not the same thing. You're not going to convince me that it is the same thing, and it's just her. You were there. You were there representing this country. You speak for all of us. Your behavior, your actions are a representation of all of us. You won medals. They do a medal count. When they do a medal count and they're showing a composite total of the medals, they don't have names of people. They don't even have the names of the events. They have your country. How many medals did your country win? And that's what that is. It is not, and that's why I said, in and of itself, was the act of it bad? No. I'll give you that. Was it bad? Absolutely not. Was it done in good taste and a way to acknowledge? Absolutely. What I do have a problem with, as I said before, time and place, man. It's just that it wasn't a time and a place for that, and I'm disappointed. Who knows if I'm disappointed that they did that, and again, I feel whether she said it or not, I still feel bad for Rebecca, and I would hope if Simone returns for the 2028 Olympics, that she will have kind of learned something from this.
Ah, stop it.
No,
they ain't learning nothing from it.
And she doesn't do it and doesn't do it again.
Give me a break.
And save us all the embarrassment of
You are the only one that's embarrassed by this. Well, we're going to have to take a poll. Ain't no one embarrassed. Well, I'm glad that you admitted that she didn't do nothing wrong and stop just saying
I didn't say
it was Jordan. It was Jordan too.
Wrong.
It was both of them.
I didn't say it wasn't. I didn't say it was wrong. It's not like she pushed or smacked somebody.
Nah.
Like it wasn't, but it was still time and place. Man.
Listen, you have these athletes when they're up in there playing the NBA finals or in their boxing matches when they beat the other opponent and the other opponent, the opponent who wins, when they give props to the losers, I don't ever hear you complaining about stuff like that. It's the same thing.
As I said, it is not the same. And this is why I'm saying you are representing your country. You don't get it. You just don't get it. And that's fine, but you don't get it.
Listen, we got more to complain. I want to know if are you going to complain about this now? My girl, same girl, Jordan Childs, who did the bowing.
Yep.
She won allegedly, she won a gold medal. Bronze medal.
Yep.
She won a bronze medal that she was stripped of right? Simone won the silver, I believe, and then Jordan Childs won it was on the floor exercise, I believe, and she actually won a bronze. Now, originally she came in 5th place, right? Romania originally got the bronze, right? Originally. Then they came back, the U.S. gymnastics team came back and said, no, you missed this routine that Jordan Childs did. And they said, oh my God, I'm so sorry, we missed that, right? So they went back and they said, oh yes, we did miss that. They ended up giving her extra points and they said, oh wow, she is now the bronze winner in the floor routine. So she was jumping up and down. The poor girl from Romania was bawling and crying her eyes out. You imagine you getting a bronze and then it's just stripping you just like that? So anyway, I was happy, obviously, because, Jordan Childs from the U.S., right? And but I was really upset for the Romanian girl, too, because she's a human being, right? You don't do that, right? So after a while, the Romanians started complaining and said that, listen, that's, we actually made an error, okay? They actually, they actually complained, right? They complained that it was, I think it was 4 seconds afterwards, I believe, that they said that they missed this certain point or whatever like that. And so they actually gave her back, they actually gave her back the bronze medal. And so she had, Jordan got the bronze medal back, but it was 4 seconds too late, right? So it just came out saying that the U.S. gymnastics team said, no, we have proof that we did it within the minute time. It was 47 seconds, right? That they said that they had video proof, right? So they said, okay, so they was going to go over the thing and then just maybe she'd be able to keep the bronze again and stuff like that. It just came back today that they are not going to review that because once they make that ruling, that's the ruling. Now, Jordan Childs is already back here in the States with her bronze medal.
Right.
So I guess my question to you is, what do you think about the officiating that went on in this whole situation going on with the Olympics where you're breaking these little girls' hearts, right? They're young women. They work so hard. And you give someone an award for 1 minute. They get the bronze from Romania. Then you strip it from them. And then you give it back to Jordan. You give it back to her. And then now you say you're going to strip it again. So what was your whole thoughts on the rulings that went and the officiating that went on with these officials in the U.S. Gymnastics?
Listen, it's as wacky as a bag of cats, man. Like, it's all over the damn place. The judges, listen, there's a history with judges just kind of fumbling these things. They try to mitigate against this by having multiple judges from multiple countries and so on. But somehow, some way, these things generally happen. But what I will say about this, though, ultimately, you have to ask yourself the question: did we get it right? Right. So did they correct what was the screw up? Right. Jordan back in the U.S. or wherever the hell she is, and she's got a bronze medal. Did they get that right? Should she have the bronze medal? And if the question, if that question is answered and it's yes, and yes is the right answer, then I can live with it. It took an untraditional way to get to the right answer, but ultimately, if it did, okay, then we got it right. Now, the gymnast from Romania, life sucks, man. It absolutely does, and you want it to happen in a timely fashion, but ultimately, if you didn't get it, if you didn't win it fair and square, then you didn't win it fair and square. I don't have an issue with it. I see your point where, man, that's got to sting a bit to kind of take it away. And so she shouldn't have had to go through that through someone else's error, like, the judges. But I think even bigger than that, what would have been the bigger travesty is if the person, in this case Jordan, if she did not receive a bronze when we all found out after the fact that she really did come in third place and didn't receive it. I say that would have been the bigger issue, and they averted that disaster and made sure they gave it to her.
Well, I think they're actually going to take it back now because this is the issue right now. They want to give it back to the Romanian, right? Because they didn't get it their appeal in time. They have allegedly 1 minute to get it in. And they said they have video proof that they got it in within 47 seconds.
Right.
And this Olympic Committee is saying that once they make this ruling, that's it. So there is proof, from what I'm hearing, that there's video proof. They wouldn't have said there's video if they don't have it, right?
Right.
So they're saying they have video proof that we got it in within 47 seconds. So she should keep her bronze. It should not go back to the Romanian, right? But they're saying, we don't care that you got it in that you have this video proof of 47 seconds. That's our decision. You cannot appeal it. So no, they're not getting it right. They are wrong. And I feel so bad for the Romanian girl. Honestly, if I was this committee, listen, the Romanian girl gets a bronze, okay? Jordan Chiles gets to keep her bronze because she should have it. She should have it legally. Like that, she should, right? And I tell you one thing, if I'm Jordan and I'm back here in the States with my bronze and they talking about, oh, you need to give the bronze back. Listen, man, I sold that. That's gone. Because it was mine. I could do it with my gold, my bronze, my medal, whatever it is. Anything I want to do with it. So you're asking me back for it now? No, I sold it.
Yeah.
It's gone. What you gonna do?
Yeah, I think they need to just hopefully this thing gets worked out properly.
So.
I would love to see the Romanian gymnast come out and say, hey, now that she knows that she lost fair and square, right? And then it shouldn't come back to her on a technicality because of, was it, 13 seconds or something like that. And just say, no, keep it, right?
Yeah. Right.
Be bigger than that. And I would imagine as an athlete, that's the way you want to win it fair and square. Most of them, some people cheat, all right? But ideally, I wouldn't want it that way.
They didn't do anything wrong. The athletes didn't do anything wrong. It's the committee.
I know, but even if you're saying, hey, the committee's saying, hey, we're going to take this away from her and give it to you. I'm like, well, wait a second. When we tallied up the points, she really did come in third, right? She really did beat me. You corrected it. Don't now turn around and say, well, we're going to give it back to you because we're debating over a lousy 13 seconds or whatever it is, right?
Right.
Like that, I don't want to win that way. Like she beat me fair and square, not because you screwed up the first time and then going to put it on them and saying they didn't get the appeal in on time. Like, don't do that, right? Like own that shit and then let her keep it. Right, without making something bad even worse. So
no, I got you. I got you.
So that would be me.
And before we get out of here,
brother,
on the Olympic topic, why didn't my man Steph Curry win the MVP for the USA basketball team? They won the whole thing and stuff like that. I know he wasn't doing as great in the beginning, but my man, I know, deserved the MVP because he single-handedly, if it wasn't for him, they would have lost to Serbia. I think he scored 36 points. He hit 8 3-pointers, and he single-handedly won that game. And if they lost that game, they would have been out of it. And they damn near almost lost, right? And he closed out the last game against France as well in an amazing fashion as well. He was vintage Chef Curry, right? Why do you think he was not chosen to be the MVP? And why did they go with who they always go with? LeBron.
Well, there could have been a little bit of sentimental something there. Was it 4 Olympics he played in?
Yeah.
In each in a different decade. I mean, is it really? I mean, you're asking, but do you really not know the answer? Why? Like it's Bron, man.
Yeah, but that's Chef Curry.
I know it's Chef, but Chef ain't Bron, bro. Like, bro, listen. I think it's also fair to say this is Bron's last one. I would be.
Yeah.
Listen, almost nothing surprises me now. But if he were there again 4 years from now, in 2028, I would be shocked.
You're right. He might be.
He might be, but
I
would literally be shocked. What is he, 39 now?
Yeah, he's almost 40.
43 years old by the time. Like that would, but he lives in L.A. It's in Los Angeles.
That is true. Right. He's right here. I don't know where. He's right there.
He may be He might hang on. You never know. He might be on a team and just get no burn.
Yeah, right.
And just have him there like on some ambassador shit.
Right.
Like but I don't really have an issue with it. The little bit of part of me does bother me because you want to view sports at this, in its purest meritocracy, right? Like you're there based on your effort and your accomplishments, right?
Right.
And so when you see something happen outside of that in the sports world, kind of sticks in your craw a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I think we all saw that coming. You know what I mean? So I'm not really worked up over it. It's kind of is what it is. I think we've seen enough. We've seen enough of this to know how the sequence is going to play out. One thing I will say about the game is I hope Adam Silver was watching. I'm sure he was watching, but I mean that tongue in cheek. I hope he was watching, because the All-Star game has been an absolute disaster for a number of years. And the thought of American players against international players has come up. And so Adam Silver, who I absolutely applaud, I think he's one of the smartest folks commissioners that we've seen. He's great for this. And he came up through the entertainment media portion in the NBA organization before, taking over after David Stern retired. I can't imagine that he didn't feel that energy, see the importance of that, and see just how, hey, maybe I can do that for the All-Star game, because he's threatened to remove the damn All-Star game altogether because these guys don't play.
They're not competitive.
They're not competitive. It's difficult to watch. The skills competitions are far more interesting.
Yeah.
And then if you do watch the game, you do anything else that you have on your chore list to do, and then show up 3 minutes of the fourth quarter to right before the game, right? Because that's the only time they start playing.
Right.
So I would say, listen, look at that format, because you just feel like, you know what, those international players, even though they're in the NBA, put them on one side and then put the American-born players on the other side. I think that would be competitive early on. I think people would play.
How about this? Why don't they just make the All-Star game one half? Why not?
What's to accomplish what?
You just said you don't start watching until the fourth quarter.
Well, we don't start watching until the fourth quarter, because that's when they start playing.
Right. So you make the game one half. Oh, we'll make it a quarter then.
Well, it doesn't matter the length of the game. They're only going to start playing when it's towards the end of the game. So whether it's 4 quarters or whether it's 2 quarters or 1 quarter, doesn't matter, Jay.
Well, 1 quarter is what, 15 minutes? Yeah. So who's going to not play strong for 15 minutes?
But they won't. They don't.
Of course they would. You only have 15 minutes. You don't have time to BS.
No, but that's not why. That's not why they're dogging it. They're dogging it because they're not competitive. They don't care. They don't really care.
Oh, well, then they might as well scrap the whole All-Star
game. And then that little bonus money that they get for playing in that game is less than what they got in their pockets. These guys are the kind of money they make now.
So you say they need to up the ante then?
Listen, how do you up the ante when Jaylen Brown's got a contract for like 300 some odd million? Like, what is that? You know what I mean? I think there has to be. I think if it's kind of like a prize fight, right?
Yeah.
Like if a boxer doesn't really want to fight, want to take a light, but the other person on the other side is punching you in your face, listen, you're gonna have to knuckle up. And I think that's where that would be. I think if you separate, so what they did was it used to be the players that play in the East against the players that play in the West.
Right.
So then they went away from that.
They went back to that this past one, didn't
they? So now it's like choose up sides, right?
Right.
It just got everyone inside of there. And then they're like, hey, you choose players. So then they tried that. Right. They even moved around, like you don't even have the centers the way that they started going with like the best players as opposed to players specifically in positions.
Right.
They're constantly massaging it, but it's not creating this kind of competitive kind of, hey, this is how we want to play, trying to make the game more interesting. All I'm saying is, if you can figure out a way, Adam Silver, to bottle a little bit of what we saw in that Olympics, and now think about it, Serbia, France, Canada, these teams had a lot of NBA players on them.
Right.
And so get those players. Just imagine those players were now all playing with each other against American-born players. I think that would create some sort of kind of national pride, and I think you would have to play, because I think it would just generally make people.
It's the NBA All-Star.
Yeah,
game.
man. They're all still in the NBA.
Well, yeah.
And you're just making up the teams. You're choosing up the teams.
Well, not all of them are in the NBA, right? Not everybody in Serbia was.
I'm saying you had Serbian players who were in the NBA who were on that team.
Yeah.
You had some players who play in the NBA that were on Canada. You had Wemby and other players who were on, Goubert. They were playing for France. Right. Those guys play in the NBA.
Yeah.
And there were other teams. Puerto Rico, Alvarez from New York. You played at Christ the King.
Right.
He was on the team. He plays in the NBA. Like, those guys, man, I say put together a team, whether they're all-stars or not. Just put together a really good team, play against those American players. I bet you that game would be competitive.
Well, then you probably need to go work with Adam.
Yeah, Adam.
Work it out, right?
Yeah.
You got the mind to do it. Make it happen, bro.
Right, absolutely.
All right, well, listen, it was a great Olympics. Yeah. Either way, I think the U.S., right? We won the most medals, right? You had the most medal count. I forget how many medals, but we won the best. So kudos to all of you guys. You got your medals, and it was a great Olympics, very entertaining, and like we said, we got the LA to look forward to in 2028.
Yeah, man.